Hi everyone, Black Lobster here again. Apologies for having a lengthy break from having started this channel, but I am now back and I'm going to try and do a bit more regular videos. And for this I can thank Stingy29 over on the forums. He has, or she, I'm not actually sure, has posted up a series of questions which I've tried to answer on the forums, but I think things like this are a little bit easier to try and explain on something a bit more verbal like this. So I'm going to start with the first one in this video and see if we can't direct some answers to his or hers, to Stingy's topic on the forum, or even just on here. So the first question that Stizzy Moloch asks is, do you agree with people who ask for DNA but don't donate? No, I don't agree with that. If you are in an alliance, I think you should be able to ask for anything that you want, with the proviso that you are aware that you may not get it. People don't always have it spare, or they want it for themselves because they're looking to a certain hybrid, or they're looking to level up that specific creature. But whether you get the DNA from your fellow alliance members or not, I think you should still donate if they ask for something and you have it spare. The whole donating thing is very much a give and take sort of thing. It's not based around you getting what you want. It's about helping your alliance and helping your alliance members. So really, if you've got it spare and you've got no need for it, then donate away. Question 2 was, do you agree with people who purposefully lose trophies to climb more easily? And again, I have to put, I don't agree. I think if you are having a bad run of luck, or you're a player like myself that just plays theme teams rather than anything competitive, if you end up dropping and then climbing back up again slowly or whatever, you're not really doing any harm. But if you are the sort of player who is using this as an opportunity to suddenly convert to a really pants team, drop a load, convert back to your 25, 30 level team, and then basically rip through the players above you to get to where you were with huge benefits, then I think that's a bit of a bad move and a bad play. If you're that sort of person, you should just be playing the competitive element of the game where you are presently, and not just dropping for the sake of it. Question 3. Do you agree with the existence of Generation 2 in the game? I put yes, but truth be told, I would rather we didn't have them. I kind of get why they're there, especially in the early days when the game launched, because it meant that we could save newer creatures for later updates and expansions. But now, I would rather we just got new creatures rather than new Gen 2s. It's just a personal thing. I would rather just get new creatures. Question 4. Do you agree with spoiled children playing the game? This was one I couldn't actually answer. Stizzy Moloch posts a screenshot of somebody, I would say, trolling rather than being a spoiled kid. Basically saying, if they don't, please donate what I want or I'll call the police. Well, that's just showing off in my book. Spoiled kids don't do that. If we're going to use this as a topic, I think there's no problem with kids playing the game. I think as long as they understand that they have to abide by the same rules and politeness and everything else as every other player, every member of that alliance, and they do what they have to do as well for that alliance, then fine. But I couldn't honestly answer that question properly in light of what it's kind of representing. You have to take everybody as an individual. Question 5 was, do you agree with people who use emojis all the time just to irritate their opponent? No, I do not. In fact, I am kind of against the emojis. Within a couple of weeks of them being added to the game, I had turned them off because as a theme team player, I was sick to the back teeth of getting emojis every time I brought out something that wasn't competitive, or what they wanted to play against it, or I wasn't a challenge for them. And to be fair, I started finding myself using it, and every time somebody played Dracoceratops or Stygia Paramoloch or Proceratomimus, because to me they are absolutely boring to play against and they're not fun. So rather than me become that guy as well, I turned them off. So I would rather emojis just went away, personally. Question 6. Do you agree with players who look at the profile of the best players and copy their teams to get along? Okay, so I come from a tabletop wargaming, tabletop role-playing and collectible card game background. And this is basically what we used to call net listing, where you look to see who wins the top tournaments and you look to see what their army list was or their deck composition was, and then you copy it. Most of the time it backfired on people because they might play it, but they have no idea how it works or the thought processes that went into creating it. But with Jurassic World Alive, I personally don't see a problem with this, because if it helps players be better and do better with their team, then fine, go for it. The only downside, I think, is if it's the same sort of creatures that we find all the time at certain points in the arena, it is just going to be lather, rinse, repeat, and boring, boring, boring. We need a bit more variety out there in the arena, and maybe then people might play a bit more. Question 7. Do you agree with people who only hunt creatures with the rarity up? Again, I don't agree with that. I can't see why you would do that. There are still some really good common creatures out there. I've played some myself during my theme teams and found that certain ones, not all, but certain ones still pull their weight in a team. But also, just because you don't need it doesn't mean that there won't be a hybrid for it in the future, or that somebody in your alliance wants it and they could be requesting it. So my advice for any player, to be honest, not just in regards to this question, is dart everything. Whether it's a common, rare, epic, dart everything, because you never know whether you're going to need it or somebody in your alliance will need it. That's Stygimoloch's first set of questions. So I'll throw these out, see what you think, and I will do the next set and put them up in a few minutes. Right, thank you for watching, and I look forward to your questions, or answers even, and we'll see where we go from here. Until then, Black Lobster out.